Yo, what is up, my friends? Welcome back into the show. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. Guys, today I'm going to be giving you my 5 must-own running backs for the 2022 season, and I'm going to get right into it with the first player on my list, Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams is an absurdly talented running back, as we've seen. We saw him absolutely explode late in the season last year, and guys, he's probably going to get to head the backfield this year. I couldn't be any more excited. Once Melvin Gordon leads this team, and that is going to happen at some point, I'm almost certain, this dude is going to be the clear-cut number one running back on the team, which is now led by Russell Wilson. Could you be any more excited about Javonte Williams? I know I am. This dude has the potential to be the running back one in fantasy football this year. And if Melvin Gordon leaves the team, there is no way that this dude should not be one of the first 3 picks off the board in the 2022 draft. This is a massive league-winning player that you need to get your hands on if you can. Next player on my list is going to be Aaron Jones. Okay, guys, here's what we've learned about Aaron Jones in his career. Whenever Davante Adams is not in the lineup for the Packers, Aaron Jones absolutely goes off. He no longer has to deal with Davante Adams because Davante Adams is on the Raiders. Okay, what's going to happen is Aaron Jones is going to be one of the biggest target hogs inside the red zone of all running backs in the entire NFL, because when Davante Adams didn't play during his Packers career, Aaron Jones absolutely went off as far as red zone targets, red zone receptions, red zone touchdowns, red zone carries. All of these things tilt massively in favor of Aaron Jones when Davante Adams doesn't play. So anybody that thinks that Davante Adams is going to make Aaron Jones somehow worse by not being on the team anymore, you're very wrong on this. This is going to help Aaron Jones tremendously. And this reason alone is why I have Aaron Jones as a huge underrated running back going into this season. People are scared that Aaron Jones people that are scared that A.J. Dillon is going to cut into his workload. I promise you guys without a shadow of a doubt that Davante Adams capped Aaron Jones' fantasy ceiling more so than A.J. Dillon could ever possibly do. Okay, so now that Davante Adams is gone, who cares about A.J. Dillon? Because any carries that Aaron Jones loses to A.J. Dillon is more than going to be made up for in the fact that he's going to see increased red zone targets, increased red zone carries, increased red zone touchdowns, and just more passes in general to boost him up the rankings in PPR formats. So all of these things are massively in favor of Aaron Jones now that Davante Adams is gone, and he's going as the running back 15. Guys, this guy has everything going for him, and he's still very young and talented. Get your hands on Aaron Jones if you can. He's going to be a league-winning player this year. Next on my list is going to be Travis Etienne. We know that this is one of the more exciting prospects we've seen at the running back position in a while, right up there with Jonathan Taylor and a few other guys. This guy's absurdly talented, and he's going to get to head the Jacksonville backfield this year because James Robinson got hurt late in the year last year, and he's probably not going to be 100% when the season starts. So Etienne is going to get to be the workhorse lead back for the team like he was supposed to do at the beginning of the season last year before he got hurt last year. And he's going to have a full year to recover, so he's going to come into the year 100%. The team has gone through the necessary coaching changes they need to be a better offense, and we're going to have a second-year Trevor Lawrence. So this team is going to be significantly improved in all facets of their offense, and so I think that Travis Etienne actually has some pretty darn good fantasy upside this year. Do I think that he's going to be a top 10 fantasy running back? No. I think that that's possible, but not likely. But I think he could definitely be a top 12, top 14 fantasy running back. And considering the fact that he's going as like the 22nd running back off the board or something crazy like that, he is an awesome value. And due to his value based on where you could get him in the draft, I definitely see him as a league-winning player this year for fantasy football. Next player on my list is going to be Joe Mixon. Okay, guys, Joe Mixon is now running behind a far better offensive line than he ever has in his entire career. The question with Joe Mixon has always been the offensive line that he's running behind. It's never been his talent. It's never been his volume. It's never been the offensive weapons that are around him, including probably the best wide receiving core in the NFL. It's always been the offensive line. Last year, Joe Mixon produced really good fantasy numbers, even with what was considered not that great of blocking. Now, he has better blocking. He has a better offensive line. And this is one of the most explosive offenses in the entire NFL, as we saw last year. It's going to be even better this year with an more experienced Joe Burrow and a second-year Jamar Chase. My goodness gracious, the upside for this offense is absurd. The upside for Joe Mixon is absurd. I'm telling you guys right now that if Joe Mixon doesn't finish as a top 5 running back this coming year, barring an injury, I would be astonished. I would be mind blown if Joe Mixon didn't finish as a top 5 running back this coming year. So get your hands on Joe Mixon while you have the chance. I think that his dynasty value is going to skyrocket between now and the time the season starts. I think that his redraft value is going to stay about where it is. They have him at the running back 5, running back 6. But this dude needs to be one of the top 8 picks in this year's coming draft. He's a massive league-winning player. Next player on my list is going to be David Montgomery. David Montgomery rushed for over 1,000 yards, guys, last year, despite missing a significant amount of time and being on a terrible Bears offense. Look, this offense is going to be much improved this year. We've got the clear-cut starter in Justin Fields. We've got a Justin Fields that's a dual-threat running back and is going to take a lot of the defensive rushing attention off of David Montgomery. Guys, teams have to game plan to stop Justin Fields for burning him for 100 yards on the ground because we know how good of a dual-threat quarterback he is. And that's going to leave bigger running lanes for David Montgomery to run through. So I think that David Montgomery's potential this year is a top 10 running back in football, potentially a top 8 running back in football, and he's going as a running back 15 right now. This guy's got the talent. He's going to be a much improved Bears offense. He's got Justin Fields to take away a lot of the attention from him, and he's got tremendous talent. I mean, he had 7 touchdowns and 1,000-plus yards last year despite all of those other things that were going against him. So I think that it's an improved situation for David Montgomery this year. And I think that based on where he's going in the draft and the value that you could get for him, that he is going to be a massive league-winning player in the 2022 fantasy football season. So, guys, get your hands on David Montgomery in the draft. These 5 players are going to be league-winning players based on how good they are and the value that you're getting them in the 2022 draft. So get your hands on these guys if you can in this coming draft this year. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning into the video, and I'll catch you later.